like to call this hearing of the Jobs and Economic Development, Finance and Policy Committee to order. Today is Monday, February 1st, 2021. We have a quorum. Members, we have two bills on the agenda today, and the first bill will be Senate File 300. Senator Koran, we'll begin with your testimony when you're ready, but I believe you have an author's amendment, an oral amendment?
I do, Mr. Chair, and if somebody would like to move the bill, and then I'd like to make an oral amendment.
Okay. Well, why don't we have Senator Housley move Senate File 300?
So moved.
And Senator Housley, would you move the amendment?
Mr. Chair,
Yep.
I think we, unless everybody has a copy of the amendment, it's an oral amendment.
Yep.
And I'd like to
I got ahead of myself. You're right.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So with the confusion or the delays of the revisor's office, there was we missed a piece that the bill we had redrafted was only for a single year and for $500,000 of what the language reflects. We need we want to make an oral amendment that that we are seeking $750,000 in fiscal year 21 and $750,000 in fiscal year 22 for a total of $1.5 million for the biennium, and strike the reference to $500,000.
Okay. Ms. Doyle-Fontaine, can you repeat the amendment and with the lines that are affected?
Yes, Mr. Chair, members, on line 1.6, delete 500,000 and insert $750,000. And then on line 1.6, after 2022, insert and $750,000 in fiscal year 2023 are appropriated. So, and then delete the is and insert are.
Okay.
Because so I just wanted to say that it's fiscal year 2022 and 2023 are the biennium. Would you like me to repeat that, or is that clear that I was trying to, it's $750,000 in fiscal year 2022 and $750,000 in fiscal year 2023 are appropriated from the general fund.
Okay.
On line 1.6.
Any questions from members? Okay, seeing none, we'll have Senator Housley move the amendment. It is an author's amendment. This is the first stop for the bill. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Senator Koran, feel free to present your bill as amended.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I'm very pleased to present Senate File 300. I've carried this bill each of the 4 years that I've been here, and working with the Goodwill Easter Seals and the Father Project is really it's one of those really good programs that we're getting great value, and it's one of the very few organizations which supports men in trying to regain a meaningful a meaningful role in their children's lives. You know, the legal aspects of it, the mentoring that they receive from the mentors that support their program to help the young men, and they serve everybody from all over the state, but they're very limited in their facilities. And get to go out and meet with them. I love the mentor. I love the attitude. They really are willing to put in as much work as everybody there seeking participation in their children's lives. We know it's critical that young men have a significant role in their children's lives. And when you see the work that they've done, in addition to, we'll have Guy speak about, I forget what their career counseling great member does, but they really bring a holistic approach to allowing men legal roles in their children's lives, but also all the skill sets are going to need to be necessary to live independent lives, career planning, and then to be great fathers. And so with that, Mr. Chair, I just can't speak highly enough for the program, and then I'll turn it over. I'd love to have Guy and all of his other peers talk about the rest of the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Koran. Well, first I've got Mr. Bowling. Welcome to the committee. Please state your
Thank you.
name for the record and feel free to begin when you're ready.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Guy Bowling.
Oh,
I
boy,
am
sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No problem. Bowling like the sport. And I'm the program manager of the Father Project, a program, as Senator Koran was mentioning, of Goodwill Eastern Hills, Minnesota. Thank you again, Senator Koran, Chair Pratt, and members of this committee for the opportunity to speak about this unique, impactful program that help equips fathers with the skills needed to help their children, their family, and our communities thrive. As a leader in employment services for the last 100 years, Goodwill Eastern Hills, Minnesota provides customized programs to eliminate barriers to work and independence. Our Father Project has served dads through a powerful combination of one, economic stability and work support, parenting support, and number three, legal and justice support for the past 20 years. 9 years ago, we received a highly competitive federal responsible fatherhood grant, which allowed us to expand the program across the state from the Twin Cities into Park Rapids, who you'll be hearing from today, St. Cloud, and Rochester. Together with our key partners, Family Service Rochester and St. Joseph's Health in Park Rapids, we served nearly 2,000 men across all locations during that 5-year grant. In each community, we have forged strong partnerships with local employers, as well as child support, legal, and other service agencies to create solutions and successes in helping low-income fathers support their children financially and connect with them emotionally. These connections are critically important as we assist dads in engaging in the workforce and stabilizing their finances so they can re-engage in the lives of their children. Our experience is that many non-custodial fathers want to be involved in the lives of their children, but need to develop the tools and connect with a support system to be successful in doing so. Our goal is to help dads get jobs, train for better jobs, and move into careers. Let me say that again, move into careers as they become positive, productive workers and parents. This program works. We know it works. We have the data to support it. A return on investment study by the Wilder Foundation showed a long-term financial return of $3.41 for each dollar invested in the Father Project. Evaluation outcomes have shown an increase in wages, increase in child support payments. These dads eventually start paying their child support, increase in parenting skills, and some of the program's most significant impact on families. Unfortunately, the past year has been challenging. In addition to the effects of COVID-19 pandemic, we were also greatly impacted by the unrest of last summer. The Father Project has operated on Lake Street in South Minneapolis, just across the street from the 3rd Precinct for the last 10 years. The program serves primarily men of color, Black and brown men, in addition to other men who come into our program that may not be of Black and brown persuasion, but at the same time still need the same help that the other fathers who come into our program need. They all are low-income, non-custodial fathers. Many are unemployed or underemployed. We support, motivate, and encouragement in the ways that are essential for them to become better dads. We integrate job coaching and placement, parenting classes, child support management, and GED education. Senator Koran was referring to one of our most solid employment counselors, Sue Ortner. She's our career specialist. That's who you were mentioning, Senator Koran. Unfortunately, our program space in the Coliseum building was destroyed during the unrest in South Minneapolis last summer, leaving our space uninhabitable. The men in our community need services now and will need us for years to come. We have testified before you in recent years. From that testimony, some of you may remember or know that men we serve are not supported through other government funding streams. The critical financial resources we're requesting from the state will allow us to continue to be embedded, have an embedded presence on Lake Street while expanding to East St. Paul, where the community has also requested our service and we had previous impact over the years. As a long-term provider, we know that we can help lead to healing and systems change that our community needs. Over the past 18 months, we have enrolled 200 dads into the program across all locations. Of these, the majority have a criminal record. As you can see from the program overview, we serve a diverse mix of individuals across the state, and our outcomes are strong. Despite the many challenges of 2020, 76 fathers have gotten jobs, been placed in employment. 78 dads have completed the intensive 12-week parenting group, with many more to this day still in progress. Many have increased the contact and the time that they spend with their kids. So without a state appropriation in the last biennium and without any federal funding, we have limped along with the skeleton staff to continue to serve dads as best we can. Clearly, the needs in our community remain great. That is why we are grateful to Senator Koran. Let me say that again. We are grateful to Senator Koran for his request of $750,000 for each year of the biennium. The state investment would allow us to significantly increase and strengthen our efforts and expand the number of families served in Minnesota. With state funding, we can serve 500 more fathers and help them stabilize employment. Thank you for this opportunity to highlight the importance of supporting fathers across Minnesota. We hope that you will strongly advocate for the inclusion of funding for a fatherhood program in the Jobs Committee budget. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have, but first, let me please introduce one of our community partners in this very important and critical work, Mr. Joe Johnson. Thank you.
Welcome to the committee, Mr. Johnson. Please state your name for the record and then feel free to begin when you're ready.
Good afternoon. My name is Joe Johnson, and I'm the coordinator for the Father Project for CHI St. Joseph's Health in Park Rapids, Minnesota. We also have sites in Walker, Bemidji, and Detroit Lakes. So we represent a large area of rural Minnesota up north. Just a little background, as guys stated, about 9 years ago, they took on that federal grant. And through that expansion, we became the only rural site to have the honor to represent that Father Project name, something that we carry with a lot of weight and just something very proud of. Back then, also, we had done a community needs assessment. There we go. And in our rural community, the number one issue, number one, was assistance for fathers. So across the board, not only in urban, but in rural, we're seeing it all over that dads needed help. Dads are trying to go it alone, and they needed support and services. And so with meeting up with Andrew Freeberg and Guy Bowling, we got going. And since that time, and coming up on a decade, we've served over almost 600 dads voluntarily through the program, through the enrollment process. And again, through that, we help them with parental skills, re-engagement with their kids, understanding the legal process and parenting time. We also go into the jails. So we do sessions with inmates. We go into the treatment centers. So we go right into the belly of the beast, right where they're in treatment, to inspire them and give them hope. Because what we want is for them to reconnect with their children in a healthy way. And if they can't come to us, we go to them. Part of this issue is obviously with the pandemic, as Guy explained. So we've been virtual, right? So we've been providing virtual groups in the evenings, late at night. We do late night ones so guys can put their kids to bed and come and take part in group and still get supported and doing those life skills. We do co-ed groups. So we have moms and dads coming on, learning healthy communication skills, again, trickling down to improving the outcomes for the kids. Employment has always been a huge piece of our program. We had to really develop a network in our rural communities. And to this day, if I call certain employers and tell them, hey, I've got a dad in the Father Project, he's active, he's involved, he needs help, sometimes it doesn't even matter what's on his history. The fact that they hear Father Project, they'll jump on it. But we want to continue to build that. These guys can also become leaders, citizen fathers. These guys facilitate groups. They give back from their heart. They give back because they want to give to something that's improved their lives. They have helped have huge community engagements like our daddy-daughter dance. We should be celebrating our 5th one coming up, but unfortunately that'll happen. But we went from 100 our first year to over 300 our 3rd year. So it's been a huge thing. And these guys work hard to provide lasting memories and amazing results for kids. Again, with continued funding, it's always nice to look at the idea of expansion. How can we improve more fathers' lives? How can we impact on a larger scale? Because at the end of the day, why are we doing this? It's for the kids. We're improving outcomes for children. We're ending generational and all those traumas so it doesn't get passed on. And we might never see the full scope of what we do, but I guarantee you, generations down the road, the sins of the father will disappear because we're doing this work now. And I'll leave you with this. Well, 9 years ago, I met a dad in the jail, and in January of last year, he came out. You can't see this, but this is called a makwa. This is a brown bear. In Ojibwe, this dad explained to me after getting connected, finally in the outside, he says, Joe, you are a makwa. You are a leader of the people. You stand for strength and you give the voiceless a voice. I want to encourage all of you to be a makwa, be a leader, give that voice to the voiceless, and help us continue to lead the charge for our state and continue to improve and bring healthier communities. And with that, I thank you all for your time. And I'm going to pass now to Reynold Burrows.
Well, thank you. Welcome to the committee, Mr. Burrows. State your name for the record and please feel free to begin when you're ready.
Okay, good afternoon. Thanks for the welcome. My name is Ray Burrows, and I've been involved with Father Project since I believe it's March of 2013. I came to Father Project seeking legal assistance. I was unemployed. I'd been unemployed for about, I want to say 3 years at that time. I had about 3 back surgeries, including a spinal fusion. And my self-esteem and my confidence were incredibly low going through a very contentious divorce where a young daughter, her name is Marley, by the way, was involved. I needed help with parenting time, and custody. Within a year of walking in the door, I was employed. Actually, I was employed within a month, working with Sue, by the way. She's absolutely amazing. I'll also say that that job that hired me, I just celebrated 7 years here at a court. I work for a nonprofit where we help people with disabilities. So I'm still here 7 years later. During that time, I went through the parenting classes that Joe mentioned. I also became trained as a parent group facilitator, which I still do. To this day, I lead parenting groups, giving back to this program. How has it really impacted me and my child or relationship? Well, I've been paying child support. I've been gainfully employed. Actually, I have 3 jobs now. When I had nothing, I have 3 jobs. I just came from visiting her and my ex-wife last night, dropping off school supplies in anticipation that they're going to be returning to school soon, hopefully. I went back to school. I'd been out of school, I'll just say I'm in my 40s. But linking up with Sue, they sent me back to school. I wanted to pursue something in the medical field. And I got accepted to the U of M EMS. I got my EMT license, but I was really, hesitant, I guess. And the kind of help that Sue offered me, the kind of support, she took me to that classroom, introduced me to my instructor. I sat in the same spot. I graduated in the top 3 in the class. I don't know, it really built my self-esteem, built my confidence. Haven't been late on child support. I was able to complete probation. I'm leading these groups. I'm here talking to you guys, which I think is an honor. All the folks most of them, I'll say, that come into my group, when I ask them, how did you find out about Father Project? Most of them say, it's word of mouth. A friend told a friend. Even ladies, girlfriends, moms are telling these guys about Father Project. And there's definitely a swell that I can feel doing these Zoom meetings week after week. So having said all that, I just wanted to thank you for your time because I think I went over the 3 minutes you wanted to give me. So anyway, thanks a lot, guys. And I'm willing to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Burrows, and congratulations. What a great story, and appreciate your hard work. And I'm sure, as the father of a daughter, I know your daughter does too. Do we have any questions for any of our testifiers with Senator Koran? Senator Housley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and Mr. Bowling and Mr. Johnson for what you do. And Ray, that's an amazing story. You're working too hard. Wow. Congratulations. That's so cool to hear these stories. What a great program that you guys have. Mr. Johnson, I want to be a Makwa. I want one of those things. Thank you. So great program. I love it. How many more people do you have coming that would like help that you're not able to? And will this grant be enough to cover what your need is?
Sorry. Oh.
Mr. Bowling, please go ahead. Looked like you were.
Yeah, yes. I think for what we have now and with our expansion, not only covering the work that we're doing in those areas that I mentioned earlier within Park Rapids, as well as St. Cloud and Rochester, it allows us to increase our capacity to work on the east side of St. Paul as well. And also maintaining our work that we have been doing in the Twin Cities. And so, of course, we can always, if we increased our capacity, based on the work that we've been doing with additional staff and additional resources, we can always include more fathers to be able to work with. And we want to continue to be where we were, in addition to what we're doing today, along with impacting communities. But if we receive more, we can do more. But at this point, it would cover the work that we've been doing, as well as the work we want to continue to do.
Senator Housley, you had a follow-up?
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Chair and Mr. Bowling. What is your success rate for those that come into your program that end up like Ray? I'm sure Ray's the winner, but
Yeah.
What is the success rate of those that come in that end up with a career and a couple of careers?
Absolutely. Let me just say first, let me start up with just, I would be remiss if I didn't recognize Senator Bobby Joe Champion and the support that he has provided us for many, many years, both directly and indirectly. And so I want to just acknowledge him and what he's done. He has just been a great and huge advocate for the work that we're doing. So I just want to make sure I recognize Senator Champion for co-authoring our bill, as well as just supporting our work since we've been around, basically. So let me answer your question, Senator Housley. So I'll just give you some of our things that drive our measurable and immeasurable benefits across the faces, all facets of fatherhood. So let me give you some numbers here. Our guys average about $14.25 as an average hourly wage for the placement that I talked about. We also saw the average hourly wage increase over a three-year period after exiting the program. So it went from $13.29 and based on reports back in 2015 to $18.19 in 2019. And so that's some of the average increase that we've seen over a 3-year period after exiting the program. The quarterly rate, I believe I just was sharing, is that over a 3-year period after exiting the program is in 2015, it was $4,797. And then again in 2018 and 29, it increased to $7,000 to $460 in terms of a 3-year period after exiting the program. We've seen about 97% of our guys in the program reported increase in commitment to financially supporting their family. We see these guys it's not that they don't want to pay, but they're in a position to pay and have a resource that allows them to be able to do that, as well as working with child support to come up with agreement and a plan that is feasible for them. They don't have any problem fulfilling that commitment to paying child support. I would also say too, there's just a number of our fathers who have then given back to the program. So such as Ray. Ray is a leader in our program. It's called Citizen Father. It's a leadership component of our program where men who complete our program, they get jobs, making livable wage, they pay child support, they complete our parenting groups. We got a 3-pronged approach to leadership development that allows them to be mentors, as Senator Koran was saying earlier, allows them to come back and co-facilitate the groups that they just completed as parents, and then allows them to be ambassadors to be able to come and present information to folks like yourselves about what their challenges were, what they was able to accomplish, and what they're doing now to engage in their community. So we got many Rays of the world. He's unique in his own way, but at the same time, we have a number of those gentlemen that we put along their leadership path once they complete and fulfill the requirements of the program.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Senator Champion, I think you're next.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to Mr. Bowling. I just call him Guy, and all the others that have been a part of this program. And I just want to say, as a person who supports this program, that I support it for a number of reasons. One, everything that you've heard Guy talk about, as well as Mr. Johnson and Ray, is true. I've been to their Father's Day, I want to call it, where all the fathers are bringing their children and they're doing an outside activity. They're playing games with their kids. And you can just see the light in the eyes of the children, but also in the eyes of the men, and also their families. And so I always think it's important for us to make the sort of investment that improves the quality of life for the families, and we all benefit from that. Our system, our society as a whole benefits from that. So thank you for considering this bill, and I will continue to be a supporter and do all I can in order to help, because these are the sort of investments that we can actually see the benefit and the outcome. So thank you so very much. And thank you for your kind words earlier today. I'll make sure I slip you $20 or something. No, just kidding. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Senator.
Any other questions? Mr. Bowling, you kind of touched on it. We had funding in the Senate bill last budget cycle, and you mentioned it didn't go through, but now you're faced with, and thank you, you hosted me, I think it was, I can't remember if it was late 2019 or early 2020 at your site. I just remember it was a cold day. And I was really impressed with, what was going on. You mentioned that your building was uninhabitable now, but it's not really a program you can do virtually. How are you servicing the men now, not only through the pandemic, but post riot?
Yeah, that's a great question, Senator Pratt, and thank you again. We did have an opportunity to host you, and you got an opportunity to see our team and folks whose shoulder I stand on in order to be able to do this work. I couldn't do it without them, as well as all of our collaborative partners that are also involved in this program and project. Virtually, as Joe was saying, we had to adjust, and so we hadn't done, our whole thing in terms of what's been hugely effective is, that intensity as it relates to that intimacy and really having guys feel authentically that you care, right? But identifying where they're at and meeting them right there, right? And walking through the process of making progress based on their pace and based on what their challenges are and based on what resources we have. But support is huge. And so virtually, we are providing parenting groups, but that is not in person, but it's the closest thing to being in person in terms of just connecting with that guy, because he just wants you to talk to him and listen to him and provide him with guidance and direction. And so virtually, we didn't want to just not have services at all, even with the impact of the damage to our building and just the unrest that had happened and all the things, unfortunately, these guys were already dealing with before that happened to our building. And so right now we do a kind of a hybrid where we have them in person, but we also stay in contact with them, because I think that's most important. Those guys want to know that somebody cares. So if it's a phone call, if it's a virtual group, being supported, or if you can socially distance and being with them actually in person, I think a combination of those is still effective and beneficial. But at the same time, those guys just want to be heard. They just want to be listened to. And so, yeah, we would prioritize and say we would want to do it in person, and hopefully someday soon we'll be able to do that. But in the meantime, we still see the impact, we still see the effectiveness, and we still see a level of participation with the guys and getting them jobs, having them complete groups, getting them through court legal challenges and navigating those systems. But at the same time, we offer them support, and those guys, they can appreciate that, because again, they're just trying to overcome things that get in the way of them being with their kids. And so our preference is, of course, in person, but we also see the impact and the effects of supporting them virtually as well. So no, it's not how we prefer to do it, but under the circumstances, we adjust like we all do as parents. We have to adjust to the circumstances.
Okay. Mr. Burrow, you had your hand up?
Yes, I just wanted to add something as one of the main facilitators of these parenting groups at the moment over Zoom. I just wanted to let you know what I see. We have a gentleman who works as a mail carrier, and almost every single group, he's still at work, he's in his mail truck, he's beeping packages, etc., but he's on or Zoom call at the same time trying to get the information that we're trying to pass on in the parenting group. I've also had guys riding the light rail. You're looking at them and they're on the call while they're riding the light rail. They're on the way home picking up dinner, and I see them paying, but they're still on my Zoom call. So under these conditions, these guys are definitely trying to take advantage despite the obstacles. So I just wanted to share that.
Well, thank you. Mr. Johnson.
Thank you. I'll piggyback off of Guy and Ray. We've actually found some success in being able to reach dads further away than we probably could have imagined before COVID, because of the distance of driving. Some of them may not have been able to even come to group, and so we found almost this idea of it being advantageous to be virtual sometimes. And so I feel like even once things lift, there's this new component we can have where if there's a guy that's just too far away from our location and can't go to the cities, we can still serve them with this digital platform. So I find that to be extremely beneficial, right? Even though as Guy and Ray, we want to go back to in person, but all in due time. Thank you.
No, that's terrific. I mean, I think we're seeing, work and life change dramatically, and I don't know that it's ever going to fully go back to where it was pre-2020. And Mr. Burrow, you must be putting on a heck of a group call, because your guys sound like they really have a great commitment to the program.
Absolutely.
Any other questions for our testifiers or Senator Koran? Senator Koran, any closing comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I think, Mr. Burrows, and I think you highlighted that we now have expanded, and Senator Pratt, you also agree that we won't be going back. This will be a component to enhance everything that we do. And think about it, citizens might even have access to their legislature all throughout Minnesota. So it works out really well, and we're hoping that we keep it. I can't speak highly enough for the work they do. When I was down taking my first tour on Lake Street there, seeing the devastation from the fires, and I looked over in the corner in my eye and I thought, yeah, well, that's where Guy and his in the team are. And I thought, where are they? Just so you know, they were humble enough. They were going to continue to try and just scrape by with pennies with what they have. And so I reached out to Guy, because this isn't a program. When we talk about the scheme of things and what we do budget, legislatively and from the finances or our budget within the state, we're talking about the greatest investment, and there's no other group serving young men, and they serve young men all throughout the state. And so that's why I'm a huge proponent to move the funding from a perspective of $1 million for that biennium to 1.5. I think we need to do more, but I think we need to allow them to build back out and really touch people in proximity. It really is everything for the majority of the people. And then how can we help every other facet? He needs to clone Sue. He needs to find another crazily dedicated person who has 30 years of HR experience and who just sits down there and don't ever tell her that she's providing jobs. She will help you understand what careers are and meaningful employment for life. And so I couldn't say enough, and I've seen the mentors come through. I think there's a huge tie to what they're doing. When you look at our school systems, the very program that Guy and those guys are building, and the mentorship program, is what we need for each of those children to be successful in school. And so I can't speak highly enough. I hope we have the support. I believe you're going to lay the bill over for inclusion in the bill later. And we hope that this one we make through, and we celebrate the great work that they're doing and make sure they grow their programs. So thank you, everybody.
Well, thank you. Okay, with that, we're going to hold Senate File 300 over for possible inclusion. Thank you, Senator Koran. Thank you to everyone from the Father Project for being with us today. We appreciate it. Next, we have Senator Housley and Senate File 207. Senator Housley, feel free to begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Before you is Senate File 207. It is appropriating money for the Centers for Independent Living. The Centers for Independent Living is a statewide network of 8 private nonprofit centers for independent living that operate in partnership with DEED. The Centers for Independent Living offer a variety of services, including but not limited to information and referrals, skills training, peer mentoring, and transition services. This bill appropriates $9 million in fiscal year 22 and $9 million in fiscal year 23. I have toured the site in St. Paul, but they are all around the state, all 8 of them. And I have Kara Ruff here to testify to talk about what they do and what they would do with this money.
Okay. Welcome to the committee, Ms. Ruff. Please state your name for the record and feel free to begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. and thank you, Senator Housley. I'm Kara Ruff. I'm the Executive Director of Independent Lifestyles, which is the Center for Independent Living in Sauk Rapids, Minnesota, and covers central Minnesota. As Senator Housley stated, there are 8 centers for independent living in Minnesota, and I am also the legislative liaison for all 8 centers. We're here with friends from across the state watching today to ask for your urgent support of Senate File 207, which seeks $9 million to be added to the base funding for Centers for Independent Living. Centers for Independent Living are community-based, consumer-controlled, non-residential nonprofits that serve every type of disability. And we serve from birth to death. So it's a very large population we're talking about. And we provide a wide array of services that are customized to each individual's need to give them the greatest level of autonomy and independence and self-direction as possible. For the past 3 decades, 8 Centers for Independent Living in Minnesota have been asked to provide services to people of all disabilities and all ages throughout Minnesota with between $1 and $3 million. In comparison to a state budget that's decimal dust to serve people of every type of disability from birth to death in Minnesota. We've been given a 5th mandated core service also to provide without additional funding. Again, not just one type of disability, but all. So physical, cognitive, mental, emotional, chemical, sensory, any type of disability is qualified for services from 6 months old to 99 years old. And so it's in every corner of our state. An independent study conducted about 4 years ago said that we need about 18.2 million to adequately cover the state of Minnesota. That's why our ask is so big. We're trying to get at least half of the way there because we have been struggling for years, and we want our message to remain consistent. But what we actually are striving for is 18.2 million. And you know, we are not selfish and we're not foolish. We know that you have many issues before you, and we know that you have to make some tough decisions. But we ask you to really, truly give this the consideration that this issue warrants. Just a couple statistics. The largest minority group in America is people with disabilities. It's also one that any of us can join at any time. Between 11 and 15% Minnesotans have a disability. 24% of veterans have a disability. 47% of people with disabilities live below the poverty line. 44% of people with a disability say they're not being allowed to live independently against their own choice. And 2/3 of the general population still in 2021 actively avoid people with disabilities because they don't know how to act around them. That's astonishing. And we urge you to give it the attention that it deserves. The problem is historically, we've further segregated and marginalized people with disabilities with sub-minimum wage employment, group homes, institutions, and other indignities against their will. And what is baffling is that all of these options cost significantly more than Center for Independent Living services and actually empower people to live with dignity and choice. It's unlike any other service model, and we provide services and supports in all areas that are consumer controlled, meaning 51% of our board and our staff must be people with disabilities so that we're truly governed by those that we serve. Even during this horrible pandemic, Centers for Independent Living have stayed on the front lines, ensuring people with disabilities were not abandoned and were provided with the supports and services that are critical to maintain their independence. Just in the past year alone, we served over 7,000 individuals. We relocated 32 individuals out of nursing homes or higher cost institutions, which saved the state approximately $3.4 million. And we prevented the necessity for placement for 2017 people. If we were to take just 25% of that 2017, that would be an additional savings of $54 million to the state of Minnesota. So we can shred it down all we want, and we could, and there are justifications for that. But the bottom line is we're cost effective, we're transparent, and we save people dollars. It's a win-win for the state of Minnesota, and it's a win-win for people who are needing to take their rightful place in society as equal members. there are still thousands of individuals across the state waiting for our services because we just don't have the capacity to serve everybody. I ask that we stop throwing money at large institutions who operate without accountability and without consumer control, and allow Minnesotans and veterans with disabilities the opportunity to become as self-directed as those without a disability. Are nursing homes and high-cost institutions necessary? Yeah, they are, but not for everyone. And I think we've become complicit in just doing what we've always done. It's the easiest thing to do. Instead of going, wow, there are better services, there are better supports that cost a fraction of what we originally thought, and allow people dignity and choice and respect. There are thousands of Minnesotans right now who could live independently in our community with supports from Centers for Independent Living and save taxpayer millions of dollars. Again, I want to be clear, we're not here asking for a handout. We're asking for you to look at what really works, what's accountable, what's transparent, and actually changes people's lives in measurable ways. We bring individuals from dependency to independence, assisting them in obtaining education, parenting skills, skills to live independently, budgeting, transportation, financial stability, advocacy, and so much more. We're kind of a one-stop shop. But this is a critical issue, and I know so many present to you with critical issues. We have been waiting decades for this help. This is my 31st year. I've spent my entire career working for a Center for Independent Living because I wanted to go in and help people. But what I quickly found in human services is that if you aren't consumer controlled, if you aren't so far from the medical model where you're actually going to people and saying, what does independence look like to you? How can I customize goals to help you be successful? It doesn't work, and people aren't empowered. So I've spent 3 decades in this model because it's something I believe it works like no other model or service industry out there. So we've been at this for years and have outstanding bipartisan support. Yet sometimes it feels like we get lost in the shuffle at the end of session. We need some heroes this year, and we're praying that this committee are part of those heroes for us. I'm happy to answer any questions, but I do have 2 taped video testimonials for you from 2 consumers who used our services. And God willing and technology, I'll be able to share that with you now.
Okay, Ms. Ruff, let's give it a try.
Okay. Can you see it?
My name is Michael Boone. I had a series of strokes August 24th, 2018. My backstory a little bit is I had a new heart murmur, my regular surgeon found, and I went in to have it checked out, and they wouldn't let me go home. Not long after, they scheduled me for open heart surgery. And during that heart surgery is when I had 2 out of the 3 strokes. I found out afterwards that I had a prior silent one that I didn't know about. And when I woke up, I was completely paralyzed on the left side. I ended up in the hospital for weeks, at which point they moved me to a nursing home in Ada, Minnesota. At that point, I was pretty down. I didn't know what I was going to do. I lived alone, had no options. My parents are old as I'm getting aged myself, and I had no idea what I would do. Somebody put me in touch with Gordy Howe with the Options Interest Program, which allowed me to come home and live independently. I would not be here without the Options Program at all. I'd still be in the nursing home with probably $5,000 a month. God only knows today. But I live independently at home. I'm not perfect. I can't, there's things I still can't do. I'm recovering. But the Options Program has allowed me to recover here at home and not be laying in the nursing home with people like they're under my age. I had nothing in common with any of them. I was lost, lonely, and depressed. That I needed help. I had no one to turn to. I don't have a wife. I'm a single person. What do? I was stuck. I was getting down, depressed. Since I've been home, I've been flourishing. I'm off the depression medication. I'm off the anxiety medication. I am able to live. And that's all we all want is a little bit of dignity, just to live for yourself. Self-respect comes from inside, and options has given me that back. I can't say enough. To be independent is cheaper overall for the state of which I've been a resident of the state of Minnesota my whole life. It benefits my state. It benefits all of us. It's common sense to be at home here versus someplace I didn't want to be. That was costing my fellow residents in Minnesota probably $5,000 a month. I know what the old folks' homes cost. I have friends that had to put their parents there. Who ever thought that I'd be there? I'd still be there if it wasn't for the Independent Living Center.
Good afternoon, Chairperson and members. My name is John Schneider. I want to tell you a story. I was homeless. I was living in a hunting blind, eating squirrels in the wilderness. I served honorably in the Marines for 10 years. I was trained as a sniper. When I got out, I had a hard time transitioning into civilian life. I didn't have the skills to live independently. I was struggling with PTSD and undiagnosed epilepsy at the time. I was at the end of my rope. I had no faith in the system or myself any longer. I was homeless. I was hungry. I was hopeless. Then one day, I got a phone call from some guy who said he was from a Center for Independent Living. He wanted to know if he could help, if I could come into the office and talk. I met with him, and within a month, I went from homeless to having my own apartment. I was able to acquire fuel assistance, and I received donated furnishings, kitchen items, and even some cooking skills. Using these self-advocating skills I had learned, along with the encouragement from Center for Independent Living, I was able to pursue medical care, secure the Social Security disability I so desperately needed. The Marine Corps taught me the skills to save my life. Minnesota Center for Independent Living taught me the skills to live my life. The most important thing, I got my family back. My son lives with me. My mother is again proud of me. I once again respect myself. Now, I'm in college pursuing a bachelor's degree. I speak on the dangers of alcohol and drugs to the community and members. I moved into a house and now own a reliable vehicle. I had the honor of leading my tribe's ceremonial traditions as the Eagle Staff Carrier. I have also been promoted to chaplain of the American Legion post-2001. I consider myself a productive member of society once again. I owe Access North a deep debt of gratitude. I had a huge mountain of issues to overcome, and the Center for Independent Living broke the overwhelming mountain down into achievable small steps that I can manage. I want to thank this committee and the Center for Independent Living for being here today. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that, Ms. Ruff. Appreciate it. Do we have any questions for Senator Housley or Ms. Ruff? Ms. Ruff, I'll ask one. So you had mentioned that you were getting about $3 million a year in the previous budget cycles, and we're looking at $9 million a year. You mentioned that you needed around 18. Help me understand the gap that we're trying to fill, because this basically triples where you've been the last couple of times. So help us understand maybe what you're looking to do with these extra funds, and then maybe talk about some of the other funding sources you have.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Each of the 8 centers for independent living has between 11 and 13 counties that they are responsible to serve. So I have 11 in the central Minnesota region. And with the funds that we're given, we're also given 1.38 million in federal funding that is shared amongst the 8 CILs. But with that, it's just not possible. It's not possible to even fully serve half of those counties. You know, we can't do outreach. We can't do in services in those communities, because we say, well, great, you want services, we can't help you. I mean, at our organization, we have a ongoing waiting list of at least 30 people at a time, if not 50 or more. And that we need funds to be able to adequately serve all of our counties that we serve, from the tip of the north to the bottom of the south, and get services fully integrated. We're out all the time bringing services into these communities. So if somebody lives in Pearly, Minnesota or Cass Lake, we go to them, we bring services to them. We know for people with disabilities, transportation is an issue. And again, during the pandemic, it's been painfully obvious how difficult it is when they don't have technology or access to computers or the internet. They can't sign up for vaccines or testing. And likewise, couldn't keep in touch with family or friends. So this has been very dramatic and painful for people with disabilities. So we would use this funding to better establish our core services, which are independent living skills training, nursing home transition, information and referral, advocacy, and peer mentoring, and get those into all of our counties so that we can say we're truly serving every county instead of dabbling and doing damage repair and responding the best that we can.
And so you've got federal funds. Do you get Medicare, Medicaid, anything like that?
Some do and some don't. Each Center for Independent Living offers a whole wide variety of things based on their specific community needs, which is a really cool thing too. So our services might have different services that another center doesn't have. For example, we had so many people becoming homeless, people with disabilities, because they couldn't find an appropriate representative payee. Mm-hmm. So years ago, we started doing representative payee services, and we now do that for almost 900 individuals. Wow. That alone is helping them to stay living independently without the worry of the myriad of paperwork that goes with it, and without fear of not being able to pay their rent and their bills and things like that. So across the region, we are charged with responding to our own regions. You know, there are areas that have massive ramp programs and accessible equipment programs where that's more needed in their communities. So beyond that, yes, we all do a very variety of services that use Medicaid. You know, we get some waiver services for some services that we do. But the important thing about Center for Independent Living funding is it's based on the philosophy that people with disabilities shouldn't have to go through so much red tape to get services. They should be able to contact a Center for Independent Living and say, I need help with anything from A to Z. And we just aren't able to do that with the funding that we have. We've all expanded, we all have different funding streams, but not for our core services. Because of course, other funding comes with other funding requirements. So what we're really seeking and are desperate for is this addition to our base so that we can provide the mission-centric services that CILs were created to provide.
Okay. Do we have any other questions for Ms. Ruff or Senator Housley? Senator Housley.
Mr. Chair, I thank you. I just wanted to add that the 8 facilities, I don't know if we went over that, but they are, again, around the state. The one that you can all come visit with me is just like less than a mile from here, but they are in Hibbing, Moorhead, Sauk Rapids, East Grand Forks, Rochester, Marshall, Mankato, and the ones that we're all going to go on Friday. Right, guys? Yeah, so that's where they are. So they are throughout the state helping all of these good folks. So I just wanted to reiterate that for you.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none. Senator Housley will lay Senate File 207 on the table. Did you have any other closing comments?
Just wanted to say thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to Senator Housley.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. I look forward to talking to everybody about this again. And thanks, Ms. Ruff. Thank you.
Okay, members, with that, that's all the business we have on the agenda today. We'll be meeting on Wednesday to talk about Senate File 1 with Senator Matthews. If there's no other business to come before the committee, we'll stand adjourned until Wednesday at 3 o'clock. Thank you.